Hey girls. All right. So I know that we've been featuring our brushes this week. So hopefully you've had a chance to be able to, go through and read some of the just fun, right, anatomy of the different brushes. I wanted to just kind of walk you through all the different brushes super quick, just so that you guys could have for a resource. And it's midnight here. So what better way than to spend a Saturday night at midnight than to do a video about the brushes, right? So hang out with me. Okay, so first and foremost, the three brushes that I typically will recommend to people, especially who want, more natural coverage or light coverage. These are going to be the brushes. And then if you want fuller coverage, I'm just going to switch out one of the brushes. So anyway, the detail brush, right, which is this brush right here, is literally amazing, okay? We use this oval side, right, to help with contouring. So good, right? Contouring up here. And then even for your nose, this side, see how sharp, even though it's an oval, right? But it's a sharp end. That really does help if you want to contour here. So the detail brush is literally, in my opinion, like a must. The other one is the blend brush. So again, this is for the light coverage. If you are using, your highlight color and you're wanting to go in and be a little bit more specific with where you're putting it and blending it out, or this wispier side, right? You can also use, and it helps just to blend everything and keep everything beautiful. Amazing for light coverage. And then the blush and bronzer brush. Of course, this is also, in my opinion, a big must, right? Because it's great for the blush. It's even, honestly, there are some people who use the blush end of this to even apply their highlights. So, which in essence, your highlight is one of your main, right, pieces of the foundation. So I even know people that do that and blend it all out. So amazing. And then of course, the super fluffy side for your bronzer, and honestly, just as a finishing touch, right? Even if you don't own the bronzer, or if you just aren't interested in having the bronzer, that's totally fine. This nice fluffy side, a lot of people will just be their finishing touch, just to make sure that all of their cream products are blending well together. So these are, like, in my opinion, the holy grail of what you would want to have. The thing that you would switch out, in essence, is if you are looking for more fuller coverage, right? Which, let me grab, would be the buff brush, right? So this buff brush, let me set down these, is an amazing brush. In fact, when I first started wearing Seint, again, about 2 years ago, this was actually the very first brush that I ever bought, right? Because at the time I was wearing just more makeup, fuller coverage. And I have since actually gone to wearing light coverage now, which is so funny. But so love this brush. It was my first love. But these brushes are super dense, super soft and super dense. And so what that does is, right, it just a tap on the cream product, it will pick up a lot of product. And so then when you put it on your face, then you're able to get fuller coverage as you go through. Then this side, right, there's just a small side and then a larger side, but this one is also very dense, right, and very soft. My one call out on this brush is, please make sure not to be grabbing too much product, because you guys know I'm always telling you guys less is more, right? Especially with creams. If you put too much product on your face, it's going to feel cakey. And so if you're going to want the full coverage, which again, this brush, it was my first. I loved it. It did me great, but just make sure you're not grabbing too much. And then, where is it? And then with the full coverage, typically having a good perfector sponge, or like, a beauty blender, any type of a blending sponge, right? Then to be able to go around after the fact. So that would be, again, the only thing that I would switch out, right? So still have the detail, still have the blush and bronzer, but if you want full coverage, use the Buffy or the Buff. It used to be called the Buffy. And the blend brush is for light coverage. So that is for like face, okay? The other two options, that there are for face, which if you have questions on these two, then totally reach out to me and we can talk through it. This one is called the 3D brush. There are, again, all of these brushes, there's no right or wrong way to use it, right? That's the fun thing about makeup. You can literally do whatever you want to do and nothing is wrong. So this is called the 3D brush because when it was created, the purpose of this one brush was that it would be able to do everything, right? That this very like high dome, it's a very high, tall dome, right? That would be for all of the highlights, that this this one is actually very close to the blush end of the blush and bronzer, right? They're very similar, if you can see that. And this one, was meant to help with contour, to help with blush, to help with blending. So that was the original intent of this brush, which I have used. It's great. I just, already have my routine that's set. And then this one is the powder brush. So this one is, again, the intent of it was to help put powder. So if you have like a setting powder, or at the time we did have a powder bronzer, which we don't have powder bronzers anymore. Right now we just have the creams, but that was the intent of the powder brush. All right, so if you guys have any questions on those, let me know. Going into just some of the fun ones. All right, so eyeshadow. This is the eyeshadow brush. I literally use this brush every single day. If you have not gotten the eyeshadow brush, you need to get it, right? So you have this side, right, which is the main side, right, to be able to do all of your windshield wiping and putting on beautiful. And then you have this smudge side, right, which is like really nice to be able just to get in to do around the eye. Eyeshadow brush. Make sure to get this one. We also have this brush. What is this actually called the smudge brush? We changed our names when we rebranded, right, from mascara to Seint. And so this one actually might be called the smudge brush. But again, it's for eyes as well. It's just a little bit more denser on each side. You'll see this side is a dome. And then this side you can see is more oval shaped. I use this one a lot too. Can't go wrong. Again, I've even known that some people will even use this brush if they want to apply their highlights. Personal preference, right? You can do whatever you want to do with the brushes. But these two are our main eye brushes. Then we have the multitasker brush. So this multitasker brush has this super fine side, right? That is meant to do like either detailed work. You can do detailed work basically with anything, right? You can do detailed work with lining your lips, right? Using some contour and lining your lips. You can even, use some of our eyeshadows, right? And put it as a liner to your eyes for that. If you have breakouts or blemishes, and this is actually what I use this side for the most, breakouts or blemishes, and put the color that you want and then be able to be very specific, right, with where you're putting the product. Again, great. And then this side, which is the other side of the multitasker brush, is, again, you can use it for a variety of different things. Some people will go ahead and put their lip and cheek color on this side, right? And then they'll paint on their lip and cheek color onto their lips. I've also, even me myself, I've used it for eyeshadow, right? So a lot of the times with some of the glitter eyeshadows, you need something that can like pick up the glitter. And so this side is really great to be able to pick up that glitter and be able to apply it to your eyes. Really, this is why it's called a multitasker brush, because you can do basically a little bit of everything with it. So that's multitasker. And then here's our line brush. So the line brush has this very dense brush that clearly is a line, right? Hence its name, for people to use. So most people, I would say, use this to either fill in their eyebrows, right? Again, whether you want to use, I use eyeshadow to fill in my brows. Some people will, use contour. You could do whichever one works best for you. Also, you can create, because it is that really dense line, again, dipping it in eyeshadow and being able to line your eyes. You can do that as well. So many different options. And then of course the spoolie is to help with grooming your eyebrows. And as you guys know, in regards to my trick of removing mascara, right? If I ever get mascara on my eyelids, which is like probably every other day is what I do that, the spoolie can help remove the mascara once it's been dried as well. So those are all of our 3D brushes. Hopefully that was helpful to go through. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I have actually, speaking of questions, have been getting questions on like, hey, April, how do you store your brushes? So firstly, let me show you what we have. We have a, hold on. All right, we have a brush holder, right? So this is amazing. This is literally how I travel with it. So it opens up like this. You put your brushes right inside. In fact, here, I'll grab a couple just so that you can see. All right, so I just like grabbed whichever ones were the closest to me. You put them right in here. These flaps go down. Oh, this is what happens when I'm doing things vertically. So just put it in there, go here, and then you wrap it around. This is how I travel all the times, right, with my brushes. I can fit my whole brush collection in here, right, because it can organ and it can expand. So this is amazing. This is our brush holder. So that's how I travel with it. And I'll typically hold like my demi brushes in there too. For my normal, just like at home, how do I store my brushes? Honestly, guys, I'm pretty basic. Where I use, this is how our Seint microfiber cloths, right, are delivered, right? If you order the cloths, they come in this box, and the microfiber cloths are like wrapped inside in plastic. But so when I'm just here at home, all of my brushes, literally just go in that, boom. And then that's how it sits. So not rocket science, but like this box fits them all perfectly. So there's 3D brushes. I won't go through every single one, but for those of you that are my demi lovers, right, these are our different demi brushes. They are a little bit more, right, they're smaller, a little bit more fine tuning, because as you guys know, demi is all about as much precision as you can be, because you have to find the excess color, and then you have to, figure out, okay, well then what's the opposite side of that color wheel, and apply that exact color to that part of your face. So the brushes are a little bit more precise there. The demi, as you can see, are silver in color, where the 3D brushes are a rose gold. Hopefully you can see the difference in the camera there. So like silver and a rose gold. So there's some information about the brushes, and if you guys have any questions, let me know. The creams, or our brushes, are specifically made for creams. So they're amazing and great. And as long as you are using them, have fun, right? Again, there's no right way to use any of the brushes. Figure out what's right for you, and because that's what I want. I want you just to figure out what's right for you. All right, have a good night, you guys. Bye.